Okay, first of all, let's discuss the original story of Attack on Titan. Marley initially sent 4 young warriors to Paradis Island in the year 845. Marcel Galliard, Reiner Braun, Annie Leonhardt, and Bertolt Hoover. They were sent to infiltrate the walls of Paradis Island to seize the founding Titan, and if possible, annihilate the island's inhabitants to save the world from the Titan threat. However, before they could breach Wall Maria, a wild Titan suddenly emerged from underground and devoured Marcel. Marcel's death clearly shook the team. Annie and Bertolt even wanted to abort the mission and return to Marley because losing a strong comrade like Marcel made them doubt their ability to succeed. But Reiner forced them to continue the mission because he was afraid that if they returned with failure, their Titan powers would be given to someone else. This time, Reiner took on the role of leader, even starting to imitate Marcel's leadership qualities to maintain the team's morale. Finally, despite being without Marcel, they continued with their initial plan. Bertolt transformed into the Colossal Titan and breached the gate of Shiganshina district, followed by Reiner transforming into the Armored Titan and ramming through the inner gate. After Wall Maria fell, the remaining 3 warriors blended in with the refugees who fled to Wall Rose. They disguised themselves as citizens who had lost their hometowns, trying to infiltrate deeper. 2 years later, in the year 847, the trio enlisted as military cadets and joined the 104th Training Corps. Their goal in infiltrating as prospective soldiers was to gather information from within to find out who the holder of the founding Titan on the island was. During the 3 years of training, Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt performed brilliantly. They were in the top 10 graduates. However, even though the 3 of them had put in maximum effort to make the mission given by Marley a success, in the end, they still failed to complete the mission. Marley could be said to have suffered a crushing defeat because they lost to Titan shifters. However, in this video, we will discuss an alternative story if Marley hadn't just sent 4 kids for this critical mission, but had also sent 2 of their warriors, Zeke and Pieck, from the beginning. Would this mission have been successful, or would it still have ended in failure? So watch this video until the end, because I will break down all the possibilities that would have happened if Zeke and Pieck had been involved in the infiltration mission. Okay, if Zeke and Pieck were involved in this mission, then there's a possibility Marcel wouldn't have been eaten by a Titan. With Pieck and Zeke there, they could have immediately transformed into Titans to face Ymir and prevent the deaths of Marcel or Reiner. However, even if Marcel still died, the situation would have been handled differently. After Marcel was eaten by Ymir, they wouldn't have let Ymir get away so easily because Zeke would likely hunt down and capture Ymir immediately after transforming back into a human with the Jaw Titan. Considering Ymir had just regained consciousness after years of being a Titan, she would have been weak and confused, making it easy for Zeke to capture or finish her off. This means the Jaw Titan Marcel could have been secured again by Marley. So in this timeline, whether Marcel lived or died, the power of the Jaw Titan would have remained in the hands of the Marley team, not lost and straying for years, like in the original story. Next, the infiltration strategy might be more planned and aggressive, led by Zeke. In the original version, Reiner was confused after Marcel's death and chose to blend in slowly. If Zeke were there, he would definitely take command as the eldest. It's imaginable that Zeke would assign roles to each person. Reiner, Annie, Bertolt, or Marcel would still infiltrate as military trainees. Meanwhile, Zeke and Pieck? They too might carry out different roles. Pickfinger is known for her expertise in reconnaissance and logistical support. It's possible Pieck would disguise herself as an adult civilian, perhaps a refugee or a traveling merchant. Remember, Pieck is very intelligent and good at acting. She could be in charge of gathering intel in the cities, while also being ready to transform into the Cart Titan form at any time to support operations. As for Zeke himself, he would likely operate from the shadows. He could hide outside the walls and ask some Marley soldiers to come to Paradis. That way, they would now have a secret communication channel with Zeke or Pieck outside. It's imaginable they would use certain meeting points outside Wall Rose that could be reached secretly. For example, Pieck transforming into a Titan could crawl at night, approaching the wall to pick up Reiner or Bertolt when they pretended to be on training patrol, and then take them to a meeting with Zeke in a remote location. The point is, the Marley team would now be much more coordinated than the original version, which at that time had lost contact with Marley for years. In addition, the Trost incident that occurred in the year 850 might also not have been an absolute victory for Paradis. If Zeke had been there from the beginning, the attack on Trost would likely have been more devastating. The Colossal Titan would still destroy the Trost wall, but this time it would be supported by Zeke's tactics. Zeke could have smuggled some pure Titans into Wall Rose before the attack, using the same method as in Ragako village. Besides the hole in the Trost gate, the Paradis forces would panic because Titans would also appear behind their lines. This means double the chaos. It was in this chaotic Trost situation that Eren still transformed into a Titan for the first time. In the original version, Reiner and Bertolt were somewhat shocked to see Eren could transform into a Titan and needed time to process the information. But this time, as soon as Eren appeared as a Titan, Reiner would definitely report to Zeke immediately. They might not immediately know if Eren was the founding Titan, but their mission priority would definitely also be to try and kidnap Eren. Zeke might advise his team to be patient first, not to rashly reveal themselves in Trost. So Trost ends relatively similar, but now Marley has confirmation of the target. And the most logical timeline for Eren to be kidnapped is during the 57th Survey Corps expedition. If in the original version, the female Titan was defeated and Eren was rescued by Levi, but in this alternative, it would be different. Zeke might order a trapping operation outside the walls involving more than one Titan shifter. At the moment, Annie already knew Eren's true position, and at that moment, the Survey Corps would be completely crushed. The Cart Titan might sneak in from afar carrying weapons or armed Marley soldiers ready to help isolate the area. Meanwhile, the Beast Titan would be ready to pelt the Scout Regiment with stone throws as soon as the female Titan began to fight. In the original version alone, one female Titan caused the entire Levi squad to die. What about this alternative story? Levi could be seriously injured or thrown away by an unexpected attack from the Beast Titan, while Mikasa and the others would automatically panic. With more than one Titan shifter on the battlefield, honestly, there's little chance Eren could escape. Eren might scream for Mikasa and Armin to get away for their safety, before finally being carried away by the enemy. In this condition, it makes sense that Eren would eventually be captured by the Marley team. If it's like this, Eren would definitely be immediately taken to Marley and interrogated. Sooner or later, Marley would find out that the power of the founding Titan resides within Eren's body. With the power of the founding Titan in Marley's hands, Marley would now absolutely become a superpower and be able to subdue other countries. On the other hand, the hopes of the Paradis residents would have vanished because they had lost the founding Titan. Even if there were still surviving remnants of the Survey Corps, they would also not be able to try to counterattack or take revenge. Instead, they would probably be traumatized from fighting more than one Titan shifter. The Paradis government would certainly disband the Survey Corps as well. In the end, they would continue to live in poverty and suffering for the next few years before finally being destroyed by the Marley nation, and the Attack on Titan story would end. However, all the alternatives I've described would actually become a disaster for Marley. Why? Because Marley itself would be destroyed by other countries before they could kidnap Eren. As we know, Marley is a superpower and has many enemies. Even in the original version, they were constantly at war with other countries, and they were very dependent on the power of the Titans to fight other nations. However, let's assume the Marley military leaders were foolish and allowed Zeke and Pieck to go to Paradis Island. That would be a disaster, because they would be defeated by other countries first, as Marley itself is actually weak in terms of military weapons technology compared to other nations. When fighting the Middle East Allied forces, they almost lost if it weren't for the help of the Titan powers. And also, don't forget Zeke's plan for the euthanasia of all Eldians. With Zeke wanting to realize his euthanasia plan, it's possible that after Eren was successfully captured, Zeke would not hand him over to Marley. Here, Zeke would act like a traitor. He might choose to run away with Eren and realize his dream of carrying out the euthanasia program. So that's the alternative that would happen if Zeke and Pieck were involved in the infiltration mission to Paradis Island. Thank you for watching until the end, but in your opinion, which ending is the most logical or the most exciting from the scenarios earlier? Please share your opinions, and see you in the next video.